Malcolm.
Won't these physicists just get to the end of the line and realize that there's nothing happening?
Yeah, it will literally be the end of their career. It'll be
science.
It'll be the end. Yeah. So I'm not sure how far they're prepared to take that.
Yeah.
I'll lose my job. I'll lose my. Yeah. I'm not quite sure how far they'll take it, but there's a group of them that are having a red hot crack at it. There is no past. There is no future. All that's ever happening is that this whole universe, like the Big Bang, is just constantly big banging into the present moment all the time. And that is what's happening. And yet it's finely tuned. It's not disordered. Oh my God. And there's nothing that sits outside of this absolute present moment that just constantly bursts into existence. There's nothing that sits outside of it. It is just this. Talk about intelligence. Think about that. Like, just ponder that for a moment. It's not a big God sitting on a cloud planning on how the future of the world's going to be and this is going to happen and blah, blah, blah. No. The intelligence behind it. You only need to look into nature. Look at nature. Jesus, the intelligence in nature. My God. My God. And not many people will question nature. Everyone will kind of accept Mother Nature or nature. Expand it out. Why are we so willing to accept nature? And, nature's a thing and it seems to be in control of things and creates harmony and look what it produces and there's a system to it. And we can accept that quite readily. Now, instead of calling it nature, fasten your seatbelt, instead of calling it nature, now let's call it God. See what happens. Whoa! I'm going to call it God. Freaks people out. Why? 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 We accept nature as being a powerful force. Most human beings will accept it. As soon as you call it God, or even an intelligence energy or something else, we kind of go, oh, I don't know about that. No, I don't know about that. And the reason we do that is because human beings believe they're separate from nature. We believe we're separate from it. The arrogance, the fucking arrogance. We're separate from it. Yeah, I know we're mammals and there are other mammals. Yeah, but no, but we're separate from nature. So much so that I'm going to form a group and I'm going to step in there and I'm going to start to help nature. And save the world. There's too much pollution and too much rubbish and too much this and too much that. Jesus, separate from nature. The arrogance. Yet most people that you speak to have a firm belief that we are separate from nature. Yet everything else, all other animals, insects, critters, and, trees and plants and everything else, that's all part of nature. But not me, the human being.
But Terrence, the very fact to name separates everything. The very fact to name, like.
Yet the word nature seems to unify.
Yeah, but it seems to unify just and being separate too. Like because we name it, like everything that's named is outside because that's why it has a name, and that's why, I mean, that's the feeling I have each time we name something. We make it apart. Like being nature or being anything.
Sure.
Like,
yeah, definitely naming is what splits. Yeah, is what divides. Yes,
it feels like that.
yeah. But nature, you will find that most human beings will agree with. There won't be any resistance around it. And most human beings will acknowledge that nature is a powerful force. It's something that's in control, that's doing stuff. Yeah. And then we make the fatal error of excluding ourselves from that. Yeah.
Except indigenous people, I think they have less that.
Yeah, very true. Yep. 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 And yet we use terms like, oh, it's not in his nature, or it's not in her nature. What do you mean, nature? What does that mean? Not in his nature or her nature. What does that mean? Just means it's not how they would function. It's not how they're programmed to function.
Perhaps a source of that belief is the religious idea. God created man in his image, and man has dominion over the animals. I mean, it's in the Bible.
Absolutely.
You can see why a whole bunch of people believe that nonsense.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely, George. Yep. Yep. And it's bloody hilarious. I brought up nature because that, we can kind of get our head around that. There's an understanding, there's an intuitive understanding that nature is a force. Yeah. And most people seem to accept that. They can't even really know what nature is, but there'll be an acceptance around nature, like some sort of a force that's kind of in control and so on. Yeah. Just expand that out. Instead of calling it nature, just call it the absolute. That's a force that's doing everything, including nature. Now it's doing everything. Yeah.